Well, hi there guys, and welcome to another video. And by guys, I mean my homeboys, or my homegirls, or my home other, or my home prefer not to say. You find me outside on a lovely British spring day. I'm going to be doing a bit of wiring work today. I have in front of me, not one, but two Brennenstuhls. These Brennenstuhls are UK plugged 4-way extension strips. In addition to my Brennenstuhls, I also have a wireable C14 connector here. And I also have a hyper tough light duty extension cord. Hyper tough light duty extension cord. This is a US extension cord from Walmart. I also have, though I hope not to need them, some waterproof junction boxes. My main mission today is to rewire one of these Brennenstuhl UK 4-way strips with a US plug, and then my secondary objective to wire the other one with a C14 connector. So I'm just going to start opening these. I've got a couple of screwdrivers here. I've got a pair of scissors. I do also have a blade, some other screwdrivers. So let me paint you a picture. You've travelled to the United States of America, and you have taken with you laptops, phones, action cams, tablets, or iPads as they call them at airports, because apparently there's no such tablet other than an iPad. Anyway, I digress. You've taken all of these things with you, and you get to your hotel room and you're like, oh gosh, what a bummer. I don't have enough converters for all the sockets, or I do, but there's very few sockets, or the sockets are far from where I want to be doing things, or I don't know, all these problems that people might have. I mean, I don't really have these problems very often. Most of the Las Vegas hotel rooms that I go to are recently renovated or refurbished or something, and are chock full of plug sockets in every corner, everything. And they also often have native USB power built into all sorts of pieces of furniture and all the sockets and everything. Anyway, but let's imagine you were going back in time, though then of course you probably wouldn't have lots of tablets and phone. Anyway, let's imagine a hypothetical scenario where you need lots of plug sockets in your American hotel room, and you need them far from the walls. And anyway, it would be really useful, trust me bro, if you had a UK 4-way strip that could plug directly into a US socket. So that's what I'm going to just fashion today for my next, or my wife's next trip to the US. Obviously all of the UK stuff is going to be 230 volts, and all of the US stuff is going to be 120 volts, and but you know, who has much that runs natively on AC nowadays anyway. I think my wife often takes a hairdryer with her, though it has a little switch on it to change the expected input voltage and so achieve the correct current. But yes, I mean, most things are going to be some sort of switch power supply that converts AC to DC low voltage anyway, and they're all rated nowadays for anything from 100 to 250 volts, so these are not real problems that real people have in any sense. So put this one out of the way to free up a little bit of table space a moment. So these are wireable plugs. I will recover the plug later on for reuse elsewhere, but as I can't be bothered to unwire it right now, I will just chop it off. I won't chop it off at that end. Have I damaged it? No, I haven't. I'll actually chop it off near this end, because I am hoping to wire this directly in and maintain most of this. Though the aperture might not be quite big enough for this light duty cord. Obviously, American cables tend to be thicker because lower voltages, higher currents need thicker gauge of cable. I don't know, we might end up using the waterproof junction box. Let's just see. So I guess the first port of call, actually, before I decide which end to cut off, is probably to unscrew this and open it up. So let me get on and do that. Throughout the course of this video, I will probably be resorting to time-lapse on a few occasions because it's going to take me a while to do things. So this is probably the first time-lapse. Well, I think it's fair to say that Hugo Brennenstuhl doesn't want amateur electro dudes opening up his strips and modifying them to run out of spec, because he has created some screws that are most egregious. You probably can't see it, but these screws seem to be topped in such a way as turning them clockwise to tighten them is easy and normal. Turning them anti-clockwise, they don't really turn. There's some sort of ramps that just it slides across it. So I've mangled a lot of the plastic getting these out. But anyway, I've got them out. So let's take a look inside this here Brennenstuhl. Let's hope the top comes off easy now I've done that. Yes, it does. The other one I might just use the junction box because it's going to be much easier. So it looks fairly standard on the top there. Then let's look inside. Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very standard power strip, the likes of which we've seen on many occasions before. So let's just see. Well, I mean, that was probably a waste of time, because this is definitely not trivially user modifiable. So these cables coming in do not appear to go into any sort of junction running off to the metal. The metal is clearly bonded in some way, soldered I guess, to the distribution. So it was fun opening it up, but this will not be one that I can modify from the interior. I mean, I could fit a tiny little junction panel in there on the inside if I wanted to. I do have a few of the little ones, but I don't think that would be such a good idea. So I'll put the top back on this and we will cut it mid-cable and use the junction box. Good job that I happen to have a couple of these junction boxes lying around. I mean, they are outdoor ones, but it doesn't matter. They'll be absolutely fit for purpose. So yes, what I will do is I'll just set this one that I've opened up aside and do this one later, and I'll swap back to the other one and just cut it and affix those two ends together. So anyway, good to get inside a Brennenstuhl. I've never seen inside one of these Brennenstuhls before. I have long enjoyed the use of the Brennenstuhl. I have a few 8-way ones that I use. They are very high in quality, but definitely not for modifying in the home. So, based on the fact I'm going to use a junction box, I will maximize the length of this cord, because who doesn't want a cord of maximum length? And I will proceed indeed to cut this near the plug end. As I said before, I will recover the plug later. You shouldn't really leave a plug lying around with a cut cord, because you never know when someone is going to plug it in and accidentally cause a problem. But if you are going to leave it on, at least leave it near the plug end, so nobody just finds an arbitrary plug lying around and plugs it in and doesn't really know where the other end is. So that's one end there. Now I will open up this Hyper Tough light duty extension cord from Walmart. Okay, that just slides out there, nice and easy. And open this up. So it looks like a fairly standard US plug connector there with the earth. So the Brennenstuhl, I believe, was rated for just over 3 kilowatts with 220 to 250 volts, 13 amps. which of course we'll be running it outside of that specification, though hopefully that won't be a problem. It's very thick metal on the interior, so I'm sure it'll handle plenty of current, but we're not going to use this for anything high current anyway. I mentioned a hairdryer earlier. It's not going to be too heinous, I don't think. So this says wash hands after handling. Weird. Okay. Keep away from water. Keep children and pets away from cord. Do not plug one extension cord into another. Avoid overheating. Blah 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 blah. So 13 amps, 125 volts. So this is only rated for about 1.6 kilowatts. So indeed, they're both rated for the same amperage, but of course, yes, one in a part of the world with weedy voltages and one not. So this cable seems decent enough. So I will cut this at this end of the cable and just throw this end away, as I have no real need for this. I mean, I guess I could create a little cable, just a converter, but again, I don't really have much I can think of. I mean, I might, rather than throw it out, just turn it into a basic converter, but I can't think of where I will ever use that. Right, so I will now strip down both ends of this and feed it into my waterproof junction box. Sounds like another good opportunity for a time lapse, doesn't it? Right, there we go. Two cables stripped down. So the British end has a brown for the live and a blue for the neutral and a green-yellow for the earth, and the US end has a green equivalent to the green-yellow, but a black equivalent to the blue.
No.
And a white equivalent to the brown.
Again, no. You're just going to have to watch the end of the video now.
But fortunately, I am familiar with both standards, and so I'm aware of what to connect to what. And this little junction box has an E, an L, and an N written on the side, just as a useful keying so that you know what to screw in where. So, yes, I will now attach these together. Now remember, kids, don't do this at home. Don't be attaching this and this. Now, in this particular case, they are both rated 13 amps, and so you would already have to be doing something wrong for this to be dangerous. That would already have been dangerous with what you had. And of course, this way round, where you're plugging appliances that expect 230 volts into a supply that's 110 volts, it is the less dangerous way round anyway. But this is all completely out of spec, and so shouldn't really be done. Disclaimers are very important. Right, let me get down to attaching these together now in the block. Incidentally, the Brennenstuhl cable seems quite a lot higher quality than the Walmart cable, which is interesting, though they're probably both made in China. Right, back to the next part. Right, that's the American side wired in to the junction. Now we'll wire in the British side. God save the King. Well, that's both ends connected into the junction. I could probably tighten that a little bit more. It's a little grizzled from where the pliers have mangled the plastic a little bit, but it is sound and hopefully electrically fit for purpose. I guess the next thing for us to do is to test that all the right places go to all the right places. So I'll use my cheap, low quality Mulet meter for the purpose, and we will make sure that what we expect goes to what we expect. I can't really remember where I got this. It is a Splink Tech. Don't know how reliable it is, but hey, it's sold in Britain to British, so hopefully Someone somewhere is caring a little bit about whether or not it's safe. Right, plug that black into the common. I don't know which side we use for what on this actually, but anyway, let's plug that in and just see what happens. Right, let's switch to where do we have our continuity? There we go, and let's see what happens. I've lost the other end. There we go. It beeps. Right. Okay, let's begin. So the first thing I will do is I will stick it in the earth, because that is of course the most important terminal. Okay, did I not slip it in deep enough? I mean, the earth should be connected whether or not it's turned off or on. And of course I have one open over there, so yes, I can confirm it is. Right. I'm just not holding it very well, but I'm getting a couple of beeps. Okay, it's beeping. I'm not very good at holding it in place, but I'm getting beeps, so that's fine. Alright, let's defeat that safety interlock and stick this in here. Oh no, wrong one, this one. That's interesting. That is interesting. I guess I haven't made connection here. No, or I've just flubbed it, of course. Let's try it the other side. I think that's making connection. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, let's just test the other side. Maybe I have flubbed it. Oh, that's unideal. It does look like I might have messed this one up. I mean, it was certainly connected quite well before I tightened it, but yeah, okay, that didn't go very well. So I'll have to now untighten that and see what has gone wrong there. Well, all in all, today has been pretty much an abject failure. It has taken me much longer than it should, and I have failed to actually connect it up properly, and that's just the pain in the bloody arse. Nonetheless, I hope it has made for some relatively mundane and banal viewing for you. Well guys, I hope you found the video interesting and informative, and as always, please do feel free to leave comments below. Why don't you tell me about a time when you have done something that is electrically relatively unsafe, but not by your standards. Otherwise guys, that's about all we've got today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, but until then guys, from me, well, it's goodbye.
Well, I guess a short epilogue is called for, as the keen-eyed amongst you will notice I said no a few times earlier in the video, which was added while I was editing just now. I think I said the exact opposite of what was true and meant and safe, because of course, as we know in US wiring, black is hot or live and white is neutral. So in the interests of proving that I'm not in fact a complete idiot, well, in this particular regard, I guess I should probably test the two modified adapters that I've created. So, first and foremost, let's try the C14 conversion. Let us place one of these probes in the earth and the other one here, and prove that that's connected. And then let us connect one into the live, which will require a slight pushing open of the board. And then connecting it up on this side too, beep, and then into the neutral, and on this side, there it is. So that's my C14 conversion, proven to be working. I wouldn't say safe, but and then my US power conversion will do exactly the same over here. So we'll start by plugging my probe into the earth. It's a nice deep boy this is, and connect up to the earth here. Beep, and then next we will go, whoops, into the live side and test that here too. Good, and then we will go into the neutral side and test that here too. Oops, no, that's not a good connection. Let's try again. Oh, that's the live side actually, other way around. This is going very well, but that was turned off, which is why we didn't get a live connection. There we go, the live side. Great how even when I was going to test that there, I had it the wrong way around. Anyway, I'm pro. Oh yes, don't use this video as a guide for anything, obviously.